I do want to give some props here because I feel like I'm beating up on Elden Ring, and like I said, I can't say that I don't hate it. So I do want to talk about some good things. I'm going to finish the rest of that later, but I do want to shout at the world because I do think that the world is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I have things to say on it actually. Go ahead and finish your thought, but
I mean, like nothing specific. I don't think that it captivated me the same way that Breath of the Wild's world did, where and to go back to my like, it's frustrating that you're kind of wandering aimlessly. I feel like one of the things that worked so well for Breath of the Wild, and I assume will carry over to Tears of the Kingdom, is like you can wander aimlessly and you're rewarded by finding a shrine. A lot of times, right? Like there's a lot of shrines that you can get that kind of reward to, where I don't really think that there's a similar type of reward in Elden Ring. Like there might be some caves that you can go and explore and get something.
ooh,
However,
yeah, I think you're off base there, man. I think you weren't looking in
oh,
the right places.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so like if you strip away kind of a lot of the soul stuff, like the basic layout of Elden Ring, it honestly is a lot like Breath of the Wild, where Breath of the Wild, you enter the main area, like once you get off the Great Plateau, other than Hyrule Castle, it's like go to the four divine beasts, finish the quest, right?
Hmm.
That's kind of the thrust of Breath of the Wild, right? And there's a lot of exploring in between. Elden Ring works similar. There are a number of what are called legacy dungeons in the game, and there are six
I'm
of them.
I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about those because
The
I
six legacy dungeons are what essentially are like the divine beasts in Breath of the Wild. They're like the big dungeons to explore. And those are fantastic. I want to ask, did you get to any of them?
well,
I
I
didn't.
was gonna say I don't know. I don't think so because
I'm gonna re.
I kept on hearing
I
about how great these dungeons were in this game, and I was just like, I've been to a bunch of caves, I've been to a bunch
let me
of
read
castles and
off the names
forts.
of these places. You tell me if you explored them.
Okay,
Stormvale Castle.
couldn't beat the boss to get inside.
Okay. The yeah.
I think that's where I left off too,
The
to be
dude with
honest.
the knife. He throws knives at you and stuff.
Like
Big dude.
his name starts with an M.
Yeah, Morgott.
Yeah, couldn't beat him.
Yeah,
So didn't no.
maybe.
Yeah.
No,
Now
I don't know.
he's the
I don't
gatekeeper of
remember.
the castle. Yeah. You kind of have to explore and get strong before you can take him on.
Yeah,
So
no,
no to Stormvale Castle.
no.
Raya Lucaria Academy.
Huh?
It's like a Harry Potter like wizard school.
Where is it?
It's north of Stormvale Castle.
No,
There's a big lake.
no,
I gotta look up this castle.
Uh, Volcano Manor, I assume no.
no.
And then the other three legacy dungeons are beyond that. So it sounds like you didn't even get to any
No.
of the. There are smaller dungeons. They're not legacy dungeons. They're not as big, but they're similar. So the ones I would assume you might have visited are Castle Morn, maybe?
Yes, yes,
Did you finish it?
yes. That I think so.
Okay.
There's not a boss fight at the end, is there?
There is, yeah.
Maybe I didn't then.
It's on a beach.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I finished the castle, but I didn't beat the boss because again, the boss is impossible.
Well, so that's the thing about those Souls games is if you feel that you're good enough to get to the boss, believe me, you're good enough to take down that boss with a little bit of patience. I'm telling you. Like you got to believe in yourself.
Listen,
I'm looking. I just wanted to be sure that I knew what I was talking about. I didn't get. I was on my way to the castle, and then I kept dying to the guys out front. So I didn't even make it to any boss or anything. I
Yeah.
just the guys out front killed me like 13 times. That's when I stopped playing.
so
What-
maybe there
what
are
about-
maybe there are some awesome dungeons, but I've done a bunch of like little castles and explored a bunch of little castles, but like I don't know.
So
Even that wasn't I didn't think was that engaging to me.
But so the thing about the legacy dungeons are they are so big and like they feel part of the world. Like if you get to like you get past the gatekeeper and you get to explore Stormvale Castle, it is
Right.
massive. It is a huge castle. It's designed really well with a lot of like branching paths that loop back on themselves, and it feels like a legit castle from like Lord of the Rings or something,
Right.
right? Um, that's something I feel like Breath of the Wild could improve. Like if Tears of the Kingdom improved on Breath of the Wild, that would be something to do. It felt like in Breath of the
Okay.
Wild, all of the divine beasts felt the same.
I
Yeah.
think that's definitely
Aesthetically.
fair. Yeah.
When you like if you fully explore Elden Ring, you've got this Lord of the Rings style castle that's like, you know, crumbling. There's a Harry Potter-like wizard school. There is a huge manor in a volcano. There's a crumbling like Minas Tirith-like city that you get to explore, with not only like the main city itself with the buildings, you get to go underground into the sewers to explore. And not only that, and it sounds like you guys didn't even stumble upon. So,
well, hold on.
Yeah,
let's not say that we didn't even do anything, because it's not like we haven't put in time and put in effort.
I know.
It's the mechanics of this game that prevent new players from getting to what it sounds like are the best parts. So that's not a player issue. That's a poor game design issue, in my humble
would say
opinion.
that the player issue.
The game
okay,
is so
but
big
is it your fault that you didn't want to keep on bashing your head against the same people killing you? Is that?
You know what?
Yeah.
We should have just got good.
I don't think.
Where's the block button?
Like,
where is it?
well, no. So here's another example, and I want to compare it to Breath of the Wild. In Elden Ring, there's a forest area off to the east, and like there's this huge.
I've
bears
been there. Yes,
yeah.
A bear killed me.
Yeah, those bears are like nightmares.
I did run across bears.
But if you can sidestep the bears, and I remember in my first playthrough, this was like within my first few hours, probably as much time as you put in, Al. Like I explored rather than go the direction you did, I explored the forest, and there's just like this structure in the middle of the forest off to the right, and I was like, oh, what's this structure? And there's like a doorway. It was like like a little dome. I walk in the dome, and there's an elevator there. I was like, what's this elevator? I take the elevator down, and I'm going down this elevator for like 2 minutes. It's just taking me slowly down, and I'm watching it goes from like earth and stone. All of a sudden it opens up, and I'm looking at like the roots of the world, almost like it looked like I was in like a starry other world, like elven forest area. This place is massive, and you can just explore it from the very start, and it felt like I had uncovered something I wasn't meant to, but it's just like, no, it's open to you. Just felt like in a completely, I don't know.
So this is
very
kind of why
satisfying to find something so big and hidden away,
This is kind of what I mean when I say that, like, I think that the Souls part of this game really holds it back, because like that sounds awesome. That sounds fantastic. Yeah. Like, but it's the nonsense getting there beforehand, like, that is just like, it's frustrating to actually play.
If you keep the souls out of it and take that sense of discovery and put it in Tears of the Kingdom, I think that's very welcome. So there's an example in Breath of the Wild near Lurelin Village. How do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Lurelin?
Yes. Yeah.
There's a beach area, and there's a big stone door built into a mountain. And the door's locked, and you have to kind of take pictures of like some stone tablet on the beach to open this door. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a great side quest.
That was one of the first side quests I did in Breath of the Wild, and I thought to myself, oh man, it would be so cool if once I open these doors, like there's just this big underground dungeon I get to explore, like a maze almost. Those doors open, it's just a shrine.
Yeah, but then I guess I would say, like, to me, like, the shrine is like a reward in and of itself.
It is, and the shrines are great, but I think it would be cooler if they took the shrine idea and made it part of the world itself. Like, the shrines exist in the same like format, but like they look like they were built into where the shrine is located, right? Like rather than just have a shrine, you take an elevator down and you're just in another shrine area. It's like, no, all the puzzles that were in that shrine are actually built into the mountain that you just opened up.
Actually,
I think Elden Ring does that.
I have a theory. Just a sidebar there. I have a theory that the Sheikah technology that's underneath the ground is way bigger than we think it is. Like, why is it all underground, and why does it all keep popping up everywhere? The shrines, the pillars beside the Hyrule Castle, all that stuff. Why? And the final dungeon is also underground. Well, I think it's much bigger then. So maybe it is, Rod. You just don't know.
It could be, but I'm just saying mechanically, it would be cooler.
Yes, I agree.
When you're exploring, I don't know, like a mine shaft, it would be cool if rather than having it look like a shrine on the interior, just like the very like Sheikah technology look, it looked like a mine shaft. In Elden Ring, there are mine shafts, there are caves, there are like dungeons, like crypts, mausoleums.
You know what,
there's
though?
a lot of variety.
You know what? I don't know. I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing for a long time. I've explored every nook of the map to the best of my abilities, and until I get stopped. Until I get stopped by until I get stopped by a boss, I've explored everywhere that I can explore. I don't think that sense of discovery is there for me, because it's just like you feel trepidatious about exploring anything because you're like, oh, well, I'm just gonna die and like lose all my stuff, and like I think that like I said, I've been playing for a long time. I haven't experienced a lot of the things that you're describing. I've experienced a bunch of caverns and a bunch of caves, but I haven't experienced that. And yeah, that's a me thing. But like when I'm playing Breath of the Wild, I can explore. If in 30 hours, I could do like a ton of different exploring in tons of different regions and find tons of rewarding content that rewards me for exploring. And I don't feel that with Elden Ring. And obviously this is a long roundabout way of saying like these games just clearly aren't designed for me, but but I think that's fine. But I was a little bit, and I guess we can end on this because we still want to talk about Horizon. But I guess I was a little bit disappointed because while I do think that this game is leagues better than Bloodborne, I was kind of anticipating. I almost looked at it the same way as I looked at Skyrim, because I didn't play Skyrim until the year before Breath of the Wild came out, and when I played Skyrim, I was like, man, there's so much that Breath of the Wild could learn from this game, and like so much that it could implement that this game did that would work. So I almost kind of looked at this as like the new Skyrim, where I'm like, there's got to be so much stuff in this game that Tears of the Kingdom could do to make it stand on its own 2 feet, and I just don't see it. I don't see it, and I'm sorry. I tried, and I think that the most frustrating thing is like I want to love this game because there is good stuff there. Like I can see it. It's like I can see this really fun and rewarding game, but it's just out of reach with all the nonsense in the way. But I can see it, and I keep on playing, and I keep on being frustrated and upset and like just like playing this game because I can see that there's like a really fun experience there. And I don't know if it's something with me or like something with the game's mechanics or a mixture of both, but it's frustrating because it's like I want to like it. I think there's a good game there, but I can't. It's like my cat. I want to love her, but she doesn't always want to love me, you know?
I think at the end of the day, it's like I think you've described the Souls experience for a lot of people, and I think that's okay. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like not every game needs to appeal to every single person, and I think what I love and what a lot of people love about those From Software games are present in Elden Ring. And those are the things that kept me going, you know?
Right.
It's like, I agree. I felt the world was just too big. It was kind of a slog sometimes to get from place to place. Like I agree with that. That's why I think Elden Ring's like on my ranking of From Software games, it's towards the bottom. But despite that, I think there was a lot in the Souls mechanics that kept me going. And that those things appeal to me, like the punishing difficulty.
I wish it was the opposite for me. Oh.
And as far as what Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom can do with it, what I love about Breath of the Wild is I love just exploring. I love the act of exploring in Breath of the Wild way better than Elden Ring. I just like going through the world, living in the world. But I didn't always feel like I was satisfied with what I found at the end of those sessions. In Elden Ring, I felt like the exploring was pretty minimal, but I enjoyed the things I found. I liked the castles and the keeps and the caves and like these otherworldly areas that you find eventually.
Yeah, that's
like
fair.
That stuff captivated me, and I hope that Tears of the Kingdom, as you explore the world, you find more than just another shrine. I want more stuff.
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. I'm at a place right now. This is where I stopped, but I was at like this swamp. There's like a blood red swamp. Looked pretty cool, but I died.
Yeah, so. that place is rough. That place is like
there's like go ahead.
Like dead crows and things,
and like little plant monster doodles that inflict rot on you. I was just like,
yeah.
Ugh.
So there's like this swamp in the initial area, and my brother was like, go to the swamp. I'm like, no, I don't like swamp areas. They're gross. And then I was watching him play later, and there's a dragon there. He wanted me to find the dragon. That's why
I found the big dragon. I tried to. I read that you get like a mad amount of what's the currency called? Like
runes
for killing it. So I start hacking and slashing, and Sam's beside me. She's like, stop! It's got a family.
That dragon
That's
is like what I'm
awesome.
talking about. Is like I liked what I found. It's like I liked going into that swamp and you see like an island, in the swamp, and there's some dudes just hanging out, and you're like, cool, I'm gonna go kill those dudes. And as you ride up, the dragon just slams down and kills them all, and you're like, cool, now there's a dragon here. It was like that was a fun experience that I found.
That is cool. It is cool, but I definitely am glad I didn't do that because I would have died a lot. So
I can't even tell you how many times I've died in this game. I wish I would have kept counting. It's got to be like 500.
Is there a death counter in that game? Because that'd be fantastic.
I don't know if there is.
There should be. Why would you make a game so punishing and not have a death count? Come on.
It's not about the death. It's about the accomplishment of overcoming the obstacle.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if it takes 20 deaths, I don't feel very accomplished. I feel drained emotionally, and like I need to go to therapy. You guys
didn't even get like a fifth into the game, so
No.
Which is nonsense because I have played
That's crazy.
a ton of hours. Like I feel like I should have more to show for the amount of time I put in than I do.
Believe me,
and that's frustrating.
If you didn't even get to the northern lake, it's like you haven't even seen half of this map.
Yeah, I've got like the full map for like the what is that?
Limgrave.
Never eat. No, Limgrave, like the place at the top two, the Chaldea or whatever. The place at the bottom. So like the northwest is really the only part that I'm missing on my map.
And that's about like where the halfway point is.
Okay. Well, let's talk. Okay, so clearly, Elden Ring, not for us.
Talk about a more accessible game.
Let's talk about a more accessible game. One of my favorite games that I played in the last couple of years, actually. Horizon Zero Dawn. Al, you've just finished playing Horizon Zero Dawn on my recommendation, I might add. What'd you think?
I think it is a fantastic game, and that it's a shame that it came out in the same year as Breath of the
I
Wild,
know.
and that Forbidden West came out in the same year as Elden Ring.
I can't wait. I can't wait until Horizon 3 comes out. Like the next biggest game in the world comes out like a month later.
Yeah, because it is going to be a trilogy, so that's good. I'm excited for Forbidden West. It's such a good game, but the exploring is fantastic. It's very Breath of the Wild with the open post-apocalyptic world. And like the machinery that's around is very reminiscent to the Sheikah technology and the Guardians. Especially since the machinery is quote unquote corrupted and attacks you, so are the Guardians. So it has a lot of similarities to Breath of the Wild, and like it came out in the same year, so it's like kind of crazy how
it came out like a month earlier, I think.
Yeah, it's just crazy how similar these like the mechanics and the overworld really is. But I think what's best about it that Tears of the Kingdom could learn from Horizon is like, yeah, you got the exploring aspect between Zero Dawn and Breath of the Wild, but if we're gonna get maybe a more story-centric game with Tears of the Kingdom, it could really take from like how they told
100%.
the story in Zero Dawn. It was so good, and I'm like so excited that I can't breathe.
So Rod, you haven't played Horizon, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, so
I'm not gonna do any spoilers or anything because I think you should experience it. It's like the story is like. It's like a tale as old as time with how the apocalypse happens, but it's also so mind-blowing. The things and the lengths that stuff happens, it's so good.
Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.